The great reveal is going to happen sooner than you think. You're feeling a little antsy right now, almost in a space of anxiousness. But remember, God says what? Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer, supplication, and thanksgiving, let your petition be made known unto him, right? Exactly. And so what you're wanting to do, you want to share what God has given you preview to. God has given you a glimpse of what he's preparing you to carry concerning that mantle, that calling, the changing of your name. And you got a stirring up in your spirit and you want to run and tell that. And God is saying, shh, don't tell it. Don't you know when you're in the process of God preparing you for his greatness, he places you in hiding. And he places you in hiding for a reason. And that reason is because God understands that there are certain people that already don't like you. And you know it too. They already can't stand you. They say, I don't fool with her. I don't fool with him. I don't like her. I don't like him. Oh, they fake. They fake. They ain't real. They ain't real. I don't like them. There's just something about them. And they already don't like you. And so if you decide to go run and tell that, because truth be told, there are some of those people in your circle, but they're wearing masks. They're hiding their true feelings about you, which means what? When they come around you, they wear a girdle. They suck in all their feelings. They won't share with you that there's something about you that they don't like. So they sucking it in. They holding it all in. And when they get home behind closed doors, or when they hang up the phone, or when they get around certain people, they take that girdle off and let it all hang out. Which means what? They say how they really feel. And so if you are in the space to where you want to run, go tell that God is giving you preview about what the greatness he's about to place in your life, concerning that mantle, the calling, and the change of your name, then God is saying you will create unnecessary turbulence in this flight. Because God is flying you to the destination right now. In the preparation, this is the flight to get to the destination. And if you run, go tell that, you will create unnecessary turbulence. Right now, the flight is smooth. So God is saying, shh, you're in hiding. And when you are ready, when God says, okay, I'm done prepping them, their character is right. They're ready to carry the mantle. They're ready for this calling. They are ready for their name to be changed. They're not going to abuse it. They're not going to misuse it. They're going to give me the glory for it. Then God then will unveil you just like a groom does his bride. You remember, those of you who are married, ladies, when the minister said, you may now kiss your bride. What did your husband do? He lifted up your veil and he behold the beauty that was behind it, right? And it's a whole different type of beauty. Y'all was dating like for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year to 2 years, right? Exactly. And he saw you every single day. Yay, bye, right? He knew what type of perfume you sprayed on you. He knew the smell of you, right? That perfume. He knew how you wear your makeup. He knows how you wear your hair. But on the wedding day, it's a whole different story. Yeah. Because on wedding day, ladies, we prep, we prepare. He ain't gonna see the same thing he saw before. Which means what? When he unveils you, right? He sees the newness of you, right? He sees the new hairdo. He smells the new aroma of you, that new perfume. He sees the new makeup style, right? He sees everything new about you, even the jewelry and the garment, the gown, the shoes. Even your smile looks different. Your attitude is different. There is a complete glow. Everything that he thought he knew about you is totally different. You have blown his mind. And the minister says what? You may now kiss the bride. And when he unveils you, he kisses you, which means what? He seals the deal. And then what? Changes your name. And everybody around you who sees that your name has been changed, they no longer address you as the old. They call you Mrs. So-and-so. Mrs. New, not Ms. Old. It's Mrs. New. That's how they treat you now. And that's what God is going to do for you when he's done preparing you for this special occasion, okay? So be patient. That's why God says what? Don't be weary in well-doing, but in due season you shall reap if you faint not. The day is coming, the great reveal. You shall be unveiled, and your name shall be what? Changed, and you will walk in that mantle and in that calling. And God will get all the glory. Y'all get it, got it good. Okay. Now I'm going to go to another segment if you want to hold on and stay with me. Okay. Now there are some of y'all who God has done a great reveal already. He has unveiled you, but you are in reserve mode right now. You press pause in moving forward with carrying the mantle, with walking in the calling, with accepting the new name. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because there are certain people that you're waiting on to acknowledge the mighty righteous hand of God in your life now, concerning that mantle, that calling, and the change of your name. And they haven't acknowledged it yet. And these people that you're waiting to acknowledge you, these are certain people that trained you in the faith. These are certain people that when you had a question about something that you didn't quite understand, you called them up and say, hey, listen, I don't quite understand this. Can you give me a little bit more understanding? What's your take on it? And they will explain it to you. And you got understanding, right? Exactly. These are the same people that always gave you compliments, always said nice things about you, right? They were always there to train you, to help you along the way in the faith. And now, since God has raised you up, you hadn't heard nothing. And so now you over there saying, well, I'll really know that this mantle is on me. I'll really know that I'm in the calling. I'll really know that my name has been changed if they acknowledge me. And God is saying, don't wait on them. God said He has already given you confirmation through other people. He has. But you have brushed those other people off because they weren't the one that trained you. And because they don't have titles to their name. And I'm going to tell you something. It may be hard to accept, but it's true for some of you. Is that these people that train you, these people with the titles, they're not going to acknowledge you. They're not. You've been waiting and waiting. You've been waiting and waiting. I'm going to tell you why they're not going to acknowledge you. First and foremost, God says try the Spirit by the Spirit, right? Which means what? When the hand of God is working in somebody's life and the hand of God is working in another person's life, they're able to recognize the work of God, the hand of God. And that person, when they're abiding in God and they're recognizing that, right? They acknowledge the hand and work of God. They said, to God be the glory. God did it for you like He did it for me. They don't have a problem with saying, God, look at you shine. God, look at your mighty word. They don't have a problem with glorifying God. But the ones who won't glorify God, who won't say, what a mighty God we serve, He did it for you. Those are the individuals who are working in charisma. They are still carrying the title, still being called by the name, but no longer carry the anointing. Why? Because they stepped in a space of pride and selfishness. And in that space of pride and selfishness, they are misusing and abusing where they are. And therefore, they're treating you like a threat. Because truth be told, they wanted you to stay in training mode. There are certain individuals who are like that to where their intention is to never promote you. Did you hear me? Their intentions are to never promote you. People who are prideful, who carry that spirit of pride and selfishness, they are good as long as they're doing the training. They are good as long as you're looking for them for advice. They are good as long as they are on top and you're beneath. So it's never their intention to promote you. And that's why they're not acknowledging you. Because what God did, God has exalted you. He has clothed you with that mantle. He's called you by a different name. He's got you walking in a different calling. And now you feel threatened. Not you, but the other you. The ones who ain't acknowledging you. They're feeling threatened by this new calling, this new mantle. Now, who do you know is threatened by the kingdom of God? Tell me. Don't answer. You know it. I know you don't want to say it because you've been looking at these certain individuals as they're really in the kingdom to do what's right. And I'm telling you, they're in the kingdom for selfish gain. Did you hear that? They're in the kingdom for selfish gain. The enemy, the devil, is the only one who's threatened by the mantle that God's put on you. The enemy, the devil, is the only one that's threatened by the calling that God is calling you to walk in the kingdom. Because anybody who is abiding in God, who knows that this work is, the cause is for God, the kingdom, then they know we all work together for one calling. For one calling. We are all working together for the same cause. There is no competition. We're not threatened by each other's mantle and callings and changing of name. We're happy for each other because the more we have, the more we can kick the devil's butt, the enemy's butt. So there's no threat when God promotes. But when there's a threat and people become jealous, they become withdrawn from you. When they secretly hate you, when they secretly despise you, what did God call them? He called them vipers and hypocrites. Those who say good things but are evil in their heart. That's who you waiting to give you some acknowledgement, or to acknowledge God in his mighty handiwork in your life right now. That's who you waiting on. God said you better stop waiting. Don't hold your breath no more. You're turning blue right now. You're turning blue. Because you're on pause. You're holding your breath to move forward. Because you're waiting on these individuals. Those who have stepped in the space of pride. Now trust me, they will acknowledge the handiwork of God in your life when they have been delivered. When they recognize that they're walking in a space of pride and selfishness. But until then, you keep it moving. And begin to do what God has called you to do. Begin to work that mantle that God has placed on you. Begin to answer by the name that God has now called you. Then God said he will do a new thing in you, and now it should spring forth. Yeah, he's done a new thing. Now walk in it. Now, one more thing. If you want to stay, it may be a little bit long. One more thing. God also has called some of y'all. In other words, he has unveiled you. He has already revealed you. And the good news is that there are individuals who are walking in the faith like they're supposed to, and they have acknowledged the handiwork of God in your life. They say, to God be the glory. God did it for you. He's changed your name. You're wearing the mantle. You're walking in calling. Congratulations. But you don't think it's happened. Why? Because there are certain people not calling you for service to have you to work that mantle or that calling. And they haven't called upon you. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because you are inconsistent. You are inconsistent. And what I mean by inconsistent, you have not been plugging in as far as to have a spiritual mindset, to walk in the spirit. So therefore, days that you do plug in, to have a spiritual mindset and to walk in the spirit, you heal the sick. You raise the dead on those days, right? You cast out demons on those days, right? You are working the mantle of calling and walking in that name, right? Exactly. But then the days that you're not consistent, the days that you don't plug into God, the days that you're not abiding in God, the days that you're not walking in the spirit and you're not having a spiritual mindset, you at the restaurant cursing the waitress out. You at the red light telling somebody off. You on the phone gossiping about your sister and your brother. You get what I'm saying? And people are seeing you switch back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They see the inconsistency. And what they're saying is this. Man, I know God called them. I know God has, one moment. I know God that has called them. I know God has put a mantle on their life. I know that God has done it, but I just saw them curse so-and-so out. They were just trying to tell me about somebody's business, gossip. So I don't know if I'm ready to bring them around my congregation. I don't know if I'm ready for them to actually do anything. And that's what's going on. So listen, my advice to you is to do this. Stay consistent. And when you're consistent, you'll see that the doors will open up. Because what did God tell us? He said your gift, the mantle, the calling, the change of name will make room for you. You just got to make sure that you're in the right posture to receive the invitation. If your posture isn't right, you're not going to get invitations. You're just not. So make sure you plug in. In other words, having a spiritual mindset and walking in the spirit, and you will see the floodgates open for you. Okay. to go here, there, and everywhere else to share the mantle what God has placed on you. Okay? You get it, got it good. I hope so. But if you didn't get the same, rewind and watch again. But in the meantime, in between time, if you take just a little bit of what I'm telling you and apply to your life to the best of your ability, you won't ever have the Mexican smile. Why? Because your smiles will always be genuine. Listen, God is going to reveal you. It's going to be a great reveal. He's going to unveil you. You will wear that mantle, walk in the calling, and your name will be changed. And listen, stop waiting on the wrong people to give you the right to move forward. God has already sealed you with his kiss. In other words, he's already anointed you. He's done it. He's promoted you. So move forward. And last but not least, again, stay committed, okay? Stay plugged in. Spiritual mind, walk in the spirit. Be blessed, stay blessed, be blessed, stay blessed, be blessed, stay blessed. Y'all know what's coming next. Ciao.